I'm Susan. Welcome to Tea and Games. The tea today is Morning Mojo from Tea Runners. I'm kind of going through and emptying up a whole bunch of small packs that it's like they're big packs, but I've only got 1 cup left in the bottom of them. So finishing some of those up, and one of those is Morning Mojo, which has vanilla and orange peel added to a black tea and a pur air tea. It's a good blend. It's been a while because I have had health problems. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to go back to weekly videos again. Though, of course, that is the goal. But I am feeling better, and I'm going to try to do at least a couple of videos, one of which is this one, before the end of the year. There's no way that I can just catch all y'all up on everything that we have played, because it's been like months since I made a video. So this video, I'm just going to look at what we played when we took a little long weekend video earlier this fall. Because a lot of people do that whole travel games thing, though sometimes it's the games they want to travel with, but not games they've actually traveled with. And when you're traveling with games, you kind of need to hone it in for the specific situation, like the size of the table where you're going to be. Will there be a table? Will the table actually be something you can use? And that's important for holiday gatherings, because a lot of times the table you're counting on at the relative's house is going to have stuff already on it. So keep that in mind. You may end up playing on a much smaller area. Might want to look at my coffee table games list. But yeah, we've got, let's see, we've got Sleeping Gods on the table right now with the topper on top of the game topper, so we can still use it as a dining room table. But when we went on the vacay, I packed 1 book bag of games. And the book bag, let me see, I'm going to be looking down. I'm so sorry. It's like I'm going to be using my phone while I'm recording this, and I hate doing that. But the pictures I want to show you are on the phone, and I want to make sure I don't miss anything. So we got a cabin. It faced the woods. It had kind of a semi-enclosed deck area. It was like surrounded on 2 sides, but open to the woods and everything. Outdoor games. It was a rainy weekend, and there was probably more we could have played out on the deck, except that, I don't know, that whole humidity thing, I just kind of was a little concerned about moisture seeping into the components. You know, I don't want to, I mean, some of my cards are sleeved, not all, but I think I did take something that was sleeved with us, and it's like, I don't want the moisture getting in there and like them rotting inside the sleeves or something, or cardboard soaking up the moisture. I just felt like it was just, the air just felt too damp for a lot of stuff out on the deck. But we did start it off by playing Martian dice. And see, this is why I'm sitting off center here, is because I'm going to put pictures there. This was the first roll of the game for Martian dice. I don't know why they had a black glass coffee table on an otherwise kind of woodsy rustic deck, but you know, you just make do with what you have. I brought the fold-up dice tray and dice cup, and this picture is how the game ended. It was a really close game, and I will get to the thing about the dice cup later, but next, the Martian dice, I would highly recommend it for patios, particularly if you have like a portable dice tray thing that you can roll the dice into. It's not going to be messed up even if it's damp outside. You know, like if it's just like kind of cold and chill and the weather feels sort of dampish. And so that worked really well outside. But here's a picture of the book bag that I packed. On top is a small GameGenix case with a few card games in it, and you can see Carcassonne the Tower sticking out of the top and the dice cup. Now, Carcassonne the Tower is not actually Carcassonne the Tower, because I've got so much of that game that what I've done is I have packed a base game into that tower structure, plus some of the expansions and mini expansions that we most often play. And then that makes a portable thing, and I just slide the scoreboard down into the side of the bag there. Here's what's in the card case that I took. Now, right there on top, that is a deck of playing cards, because I am a firm believer in playing card games. If you're going to carry a card case, you might as well just have a deck of playing cards in there too, because you can play hundreds, thousands of games with a deck of playing cards. Even if you like run into somebody and they don't know your weird, funky little card game, they'll know some playing card games. So anyhow, I got a very kicky sort of deck of playing card games to go on that. And here we have all of the games that I have. I packed only 3 games. It's a long weekend. The last time we did something like this, I packed a bigger case of games, which we did not touch at all. So I pared way back this time. First up is Sea Salt and Paper, a perennial favorite, which did hit the table while we were there at the Getaway, and Chili Mafia, another favorite of ours. And also because we were sort of getting towards the late in November, I threw in Christmas Movie Magic, which is a really fun game to play while watching Christmas movies. And though this was kind of a weekend getaway sort of situation, I thought that there might be some channel on TV that was running a Christmas movie that we might want to watch, and then we could play the game, because that's the way the game is played, is you play down cards and you try to spot things that match the cards on the TV while you're watching. And it's a fun thing to do, particularly with movies that you've seen many times before, because you'll say, I know she had a red coat. She's walking in the snow with a red coat, so I could score off the snow and the coat. And then the coat is blue. And you're going like, oh, I thought I knew this movie. But you do know the movie. It's just that you're going like, I never noticed that there was an advent calendar in the background or something like that. So it's fun. And bonus, those of you who like the game, who already know about it and like it, Christmas Movie Magic now has an expansion which adds more cards in all the categories, and I believe it adds one more category. Which we got, but we haven't played it yet this year. It's just been kind of crazy around here. But the thing with the base game is it only plays up to 4. And this game feels like a party game. I was looking forward to playing with the fam last year. And, I got to thinking about it, counting heads. And, there's more of us when we get together with the family. The expansion means you can play more people. So definitely, if you like this game and you think it's fun, it would be a lot more fun with more than 4, or maybe you've tried to play it with 5 with just the base deck. Definitely look and see if you can get a hold of the expansion, because that will ease your pain in terms of trying to play with more people. Here is another look at the bag. We've got here, let me see, showing here, besides the Dice Cup and Carcassonne the Tower, the next level shows Trailblazers, Travel Edition, and A Gentle Rain. I actually did play A Gentle Rain 3 or 4 times over the weekend, because you could just like lay it out and play it in an odd moment. It is a solo game. And here, the next thing I wanted to show you is how I do the Dice Cup. This is my Dice Cup. I just ordered a dice cup and got it, and I keep enough dice in it, regular dice, just regular old dice, although I did get some kind of nice looking regular old D6s. Is it D6 or D8? D6. I've got that in there, and I also then put Martian dice in there. I also have, I ordered a while back, like a big pack of half pencils because we have roll and write games that don't have dry erase markers, that are just paper and pencil games, literally paper and pencil. So I ordered a big pack of half pencils, like, I don't know, a few years ago, and I've still got some. It's like I got a few squirreled away in this game, and I got a few more squirreled away in that game, and then I've got a few more here, and a couple of them or in my dice cup. And also in that dice cup, lining that edge, are some sheets from a Yahtzee score sheet. So we can play like about 4 games of Yahtzee. And there's enough dice in there that we could play Farkle too, because Farkle takes 1 more die than Yahtzee does. But I've never played Farkle. It's just going to be one of those things I've kind of been thinking I should play one of these days because I like Yahtzee. So I have regular dice, enough for Yahtzee plus 1 extra if I want to play Farkle. All of the Martian dice in there. I don't need the rule book. We play this thing on Board Game Arena all the time. So it's like, this is one of those kind of things that if we didn't actually have to look at the dice, we could play it blindfolded. But yeah, this is, and I mean, it's all in a dice cup, and the dice cup has a lid. So this is like a little tiny travel pack thing, because it's basically got 3 dice games and everything 2 players need to play. 3 dice games: Farkle, Yahtzee, and Martian dice. The Martian dice, I use the Board Game Stats app to score it. Am I talking too fast? Here you can see the Yahtzee score sheet, and also some of the kind of nice dice that I have for the regular dice set. And there's the Martian dice and the regular dice. They do have new artwork for the new edition of Martian dice, and the artwork is good. And I am very, very happy this game is back in print. For those of you who don't know, it was Scott Alms's first published game. And it will play a lot of players because everybody rolls the full massive number of dice. So I don't actually know what the top player count is with this. I mean, I think it would slow the game down a lot if you had 50 people taking a turn and rolling die, but theoretically it's possible. And there's a Gentle Rain. I've got 3 copies of this game. I've got the original. I've got this one here. And then I've got the Bloom edition because I like those lotus flower tokens. So what I did with this one is I got, like, this is this edition in the box, but then I swapped out the tokens for the Bloom edition tokens, and they do fit in this smaller box. And like I said, I played that. And then here's Trailblazers. We did not get Trailblazers. I think it and Christmas Movie Magic were the only games in the bag that we did not get to play over the 4-day weekend. And we don't play Trailblazers very much. We think this is a game that we should like, and we played it, and we go like, this would be a lot more fun if we played it more often so that we could get kind of good at it and we're not just like making rookie errors every time we play it. But we didn't play it. We went to the games that we play most often at home. So it's like, if you're thinking, I'm going to take this game on a trip because we never play it at home and we really ought to play it, it might not get played on the trip either. And so here is like, we're getting toward the bottom of the bag here, and you can see Village Rails. It's such a small box, and I mean, it's got trains. Well, not trains, it's got train routes. So, I mean, it always struck me as being a really good travel game, and I believe it is on a number of people's list for travel games. We've got Cartographer's Heroes, which we took on a little weekend getaway, even shorter weekend getaway last year. And Rome, Ryan Lockett's small box area control area majority game. And I wasn't sure if Rome would fit on the table because depending upon what cottage you get, the little cabin thing, they all have slightly different tables. The last time I was not terribly happy with the chairs with the table. This time the table was more rectangular. We had a bit more space. But they had benches. So we swapped out one of the chairs that were on the deck, we swapped it out for the bench. So that way I could lean back while I was thinking about my turn and not have to worry about going right over. But and of course we put the dice cup and the foldable dice tray in there, and the scoreboard for Carcassonne. But I mean those can ride loose. They're big. It's not like we've got little pieces rattling around in the bag. Village Rails is a fun little game. We played it. It did fit on the table. And Rome, we also played Cartographer's Heroes. It actually got warmer enough and sunny enough that we played it out on the deck, because it doesn't have a whole lot of cards. I wasn't too worried about moisture soaking in. The days had dried out a little bit toward the end there, and so we did play it out on the deck, and I even brought my colored pencil set along with it. We just did some things with that, and I'm looking at my pictures here, and I'm trying to remember what goes with the pictures. I thought I had a picture of Rome on the table. Yes, Rome on the table. It took up a bit too much table space. I mean, with 2 players, we could do it just barely. I think it might be theoretically possible with 3 if it were really scrunched on this size table, but it was really too close. I think I'm going to take Rome off of my list of travel games. And Village Rails, though, it played perfectly. It fit very well on that size table. I wish I'd measured the table, but I just didn't even think of it. It's probably on the smaller side of coffee table size, but of course, full height. But Village Rails fit very well on there. We had a good time playing that. We were not sure about Carcassonne because there have been games we have played of that have just sprawled all down our dining room table and went everywhere. And even though it's all packed in this box with some expansions and mini expansions, we only rolled in a few little tiny mini expansions when we played it because of the table space. We didn't want to get into that situation where we were having to place tiles that were going to be going off the table. And as it was kind of a close fit on the narrow edge of the table. And I'm thinking, is that everything that we played? Maybe so. But there was one other thing I wanted to mention. When we got to the cabin and we saw the table, you want to know what was sitting on the table? What was sitting on the table was a Lazy Susan. And maybe it's just because I'm a board gamer, it's like, how many of you out there looking at this picture right now are thinking, oh, fromage? Non-board gamers might be thinking real cheese, but we're thinking of the game. So I'm looking at that Lazy Susan, I'm going like, dang, I should have brought fromage with me. I didn't realize that there was going to be a Lazy Susan on the table. I don't know if fromage would have fit, if there would have been room for like the player board and everything, but as soon as I saw that Lazy Susan, the first thing I thought was fromage. A game that really needs a Lazy Susan on it. But anyhow, that is kind of a run through of what we played on our 4-day weekend getaway. It was not strictly speaking a board game getaway. I did a little bit of bird watching. I'm not really a birder. I'm just kind of slightly attempting to be a birder. A little bit of bird watching. We read books. We always read books. I mean, of course. And just kind of sat around and relaxed and stared out into the woods. Sometimes it's kind of good just to step out of your life for a few days and just get into a different rhythm and do things. We walked the dogs, walked around out in the woods a little bit, and just had a very good, relaxing time. But this is kind of a travel game list, but it's more specific. It was for our specific circumstances. We had been to this location, though not this particular cabin before. And so we kind of knew what to expect. And that's the thing when you travel with games, you don't always know what to expect when you get there. You may get, You may be staying in a hotel and you are expecting the hotel room to have some kind of table, and instead they've just got like a dresser that extends or something weird like that. You're never quite sure. And so you have to try to plan travel games for any occasion, any circumstance, and also keep in mind who you may be playing the games with as well, what they might like, and what would be easy to teach, particularly as we go into the holiday season. You don't necessarily want to be teaching your cousin a 4-hour heavy Euro over the holidays unless your cousin has expressly said they want to learn a 4-hour heavy Euro over the holidays. A lot of times people for party games, they do put party games on the list for things that you would take to the relative's house over Christmas holidays. And there are a lot of good party games. I would probably lean into dice games. Well, we like Martian dice, but dice games in general, because of that push your luck element and that element of chance, they tend to be easy to teach, easy to learn. Anybody can win sort of thing. So even the kids and the cousins who don't normally play board games feel like they've got a shot. And board gamers, they hate luck in games. But I'm telling you, if you're going into a mixed situation where it's board gamers and non-board gamers and family and whatever, you want games with a lot of luck. You want games that the player that's the most experienced player isn't going to be always favored to win. You want to pack a game that it's going to make everybody feel like they've got a shot at winning and that they're going to have so much fun going for it that they'll want to play again. Maybe they'll win this time. So, yeah, you need to ditch your preconceptions about luck around here, around the holiday season, and start looking at your game shelves and all those games that have way too much luck and that are way too easy. Those are the ones that should go into your bag whenever you're going over to family or friends for the holidays, because those are the ones not even non-board gamers can play. And I mean, they don't tend to make the gateway games list a lot of times, because the whole idea with gateway games, I think, is a lot of times it's like, let's give somebody a real board game and then get them hooked on it so then they will play harder board games. And I don't know, the real luck-driven games, that's really not the idea behind it. The idea behind it is just to have fun and see what happens. And that's the spirit of the holiday season. Have fun and see what happens. And I hope you all have a good time wherever you're going and whatever holiday you are celebrating. There are a lot of holidays that just kind of all converge in December or late November too. So yeah, I'm going to try to get another video out before the end of the year, maybe an actual honest to goodness end of year video with what we've played and what we haven't. And I really need to sit down and tell you about some remarkable games that we've played for the first time since the last time I've been making videos. But that is what we did on our little weekend getaway. And it has been really, really good finally sitting down here at the table again, talking with you all about board games. And I cannot wait to see all of the familiar faces and maybe some new faces in the comments. So, y'all have a good time, and I will see you next time around the table. Bye.